Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
and the subject is constant spiritual action.
Right. It's all about the actions. Actions are hard. It's easier said than done when it's coming to actions.
And that has to do with persistence. It's like any kind of good training. You have to constantly, a lot of training is like at the beginning, when you're not used to it, you have to do a little bit extra work just to get the beginning conditioning. And you might have to take
Right.
days off, but it's almost like an athletic performance. You might have to take rest period. Now in meditation, the rest period may just be more hours between meditation. You may not have to take a whole day off.
Right. I think that understanding that, like an athlete or like a musician, you got to constantly do the habits and practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. Same thing with spiritual progression, a higher level of changing the perceptions of how you deal with the emotions, because the emotion's going to power the spirit, but you need to be persistent.
And the reason for that is it has to become part of you. It has to become part of your subconscious.
Right.
So it has to become second nature to you. And the way
Right.
something becomes second nature, it becomes a habit which you continuously do. It's not like you say, I'm going to do this for a while, then I'm going to
then
start
stop.
resting and I'm going to go on a plateau. You don't plateau.
Or once a week. No. You have to consistently do it. It's an everyday thing. Every day is new when you change your perceptions to new every day. The habits become behaviors, and then behaviors become characteristics. Then it becomes easy because they're now a behavior into your characteristics, and then boom, it's moving. You're changing, you're evolving daily.
I understand that a lot of the spirituality around at this time have this let go, get into sort of a comfort zone and that's enough.
Right.
But the thing is, you have to make the comfort zone dealing with being uncomfortable in the direction of constantly striving to improve. And when you can deal with that which is uncomfortable, being the uncomfortable becomes comfortable, and then you can handle anything.
There it is. Because in practice becomes the repetitive, becomes that, man, I want to hit that note, right? You got to keep trying, because you try, and then you succeed.
And if you plateau, then you're going to start losing ground if you just get satisfied.
Right.
Because this world is always going to be challenging. It's meant to be challenging. It's meant to be an adventure.
Right.
The spiritual is not meant to be easy. And so you have to keep doing it, because as soon as you let up, not only would people start gaining on you, but your problems will start getting bigger and gaining on you.
Right, because you're in denial of what you need to face, because you're in a comfort zone. When you feel comfortable is the enemy of progress. That was said by P.T. Barnum. Is comfortability is the enemy of progress, because you get stagnant, you stop, you get to a level where you think, okay, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm tired. Too bad. Push. Actions are gonna push until you get the behavior into the characteristics, and it becomes easier. It becomes second nature. If people say, man, you make that playing guitar look so easy, because of the practice, because of the passion, because of the persistence. Boom, push.
And what you do is you make your purpose something that makes you want to keep pushing. Meaning you see problems in this world, and when there are serious problems in this world that you feel like have to be addressed, have to be dealt with, you don't let up and say, oh, I've done enough now. I'm going to I'm not going to deal with what's left over with the problem. You always feel it. And as long as you feel it, you're going to have to keep pushing to deal with it.
Right.
You can't be letting up and saying, oh, it's okay now. The problem may be bad, but I'm going to take a break from it. Because when you take a break, the problem will build again. Because life is in motion. The world is in motion. Everything is moving, and you have to keep moving too. You can't start sitting around and not keeping pace anymore.
Right. And this is a big one. Procrastination is fear of the result. So that resistant energies of you fear, it's just like in a pool, right? The water's cold. It's hot outside and you know it's going to be cold. But what do? You don't hesitate. You dive right in. You don't take steps into a cold pool. You want to get it over with and you dive in. Same thing with spiritual energy. Same thing. Even though you're hesitant, don't procrastinate because it's the fear of the results, the unknown. It's pushing the comfortability into progress, moving you to a higher level of evolvement.
And the thing is, like if you've watched sports and towards the end of the game, a lot of times one team will let up and think that they've already won it.
Right.
And the other team will not give up and they'll pull off some fantastic shot.
And then boom.
And they'll win it at the very end because they didn't give up. They didn't give up until it was time that you knew that at that point you could let up a little bit because you would actually had an achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And after an achievement, you can do a little resting, but you're already getting yourself geared up to deal with the next problem.
Right. You're already in the mode and the progress.
So until you get the result, don't give up
Don't quit.
Because you could lose it at the last second.
You know, the one thing that I do have to mention about this is the energies is like a car. Rev it up. You're not going to take off your foot in the middle of driving on the freeway. Same thing with spiritual energy. You rev it up, rev it up, rev it up. You got to keep it revved up. You got to keep it revved up because if you let it down, you got to start it all over again. Rev it up, rev it up, rev it up, and then manifestate your blessings. Manifestate your successes, your results.
And you got to be able to pace yourself and know how much you can handle and sustain.
Right.
That's where I've run a couple of marathons in my life, official marathons, a lot more unofficially. And I know that the way you do it is you find the pace you can sustain. And you got to figure that out. You got to figure out what pace you can sustain and be the most productive at and just keep it going.
Right. And this is a good point. You have to have confidence to keep the persistence. Believe in something is in the unseen. You have to believe in it. Keep it up, keep it up, keep pushing, keep pushing. Because when you push those boundaries of yourself, of course, with limitations, knowing your limitations. That's one of my biggest problems is knowing my limitations because I want to push the boundaries. But my body says no, the universe says no. You drop the reins and say, okay, I'm standing still and healing because that low energy, you're still doing something.
Actually, what you have to understand is you are a factor in this world when you are in the zone that you are effective and can make things happen. But if you're not in that zone or you're connected with a situation, you're not in the zone, you have to understand another thing is at play. The universe is actually able to handle everything and on its own without you, except for it'll give lessons and take care of things. But when you get involved, you're adding a little bit extra to the situation. You're adding your part. If you don't add your part, what's the purpose of you being here?
Right.
So you have a purpose. So when you can intervene and make things work on a higher level, you do it. But you don't waste your time if you're not effective because you have to also understand you could be totally out of the picture and the world would still go and continue. It may not work on a higher level, but you only can do so much. You have to deal with what you can do and know what you can't do and trust the universe where you cannot play where your role would not be effective.
Right. This is a good point of delusions. You have to match your reality to the reality around you. So if you know your limitations, you know the reality of how far you can go in your spiritual persistence. Understanding that those limitations are showing you the boundaries of where you can go and how far you can go. And trust your gut of pushing, because you're going to expand with those times that you push. You push it a little bit more because your strength is lying sleeping, waiting for you to wake it up. And it comes with pain. It comes with persistence. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. It's going to hurt, but you're going to get the blessings out through pushing and diving in and going 100% with your abilities to go as far as you can go.
And a lot of having the right attunement is having the right spiritual theories programmed into you. Some people don't believe in spiritual programming, and I'd watch out for those types of people, because what we believe programs us on a deep level. We are not just creatures that science says it doesn't have a spiritual. It just has instinct that everybody shares the same instinct. It's not that way. The only reason people think they share the same instinct is because so many people have the same beliefs. But once you change the beliefs, everything's different.
Right. Because once you change your perception, you can change. And if you're open-minded to that evolvement of you, then you're going to evolve and change as you grow and as you adapt to new habits and behaviors. So you have to have confidence when you're beating the drum, your own drum music of your own individuality. You are spiritually training your programming to help your health in your own individual spirituality. You are the voice. There's only one out there like you. You're it.
And when I'm talking about spiritual theories, they have to be the type that interface with this hard challenge and reality and the serious problems within it that you're in right now.
That's right.
And so many spiritual beliefs are based on some wonderland somewhere else. This has to be the wonderland. You have to make it the wonderland by putting the effort in. The world that counts is this physical, concrete reality you're in right now.
Right.
You have to have spiritual theories that says this is the reality that counts. You're not going to escape it. You're going to continuously cycle in it. So you better get really good at handling it. You're not getting out of the ballpark, so to speak. You're going to stay in it.
Yeah. It is all about the actions. Thoughts are one thing, but once you put those thoughts in emotion powers it, and then you go into actions, then it's going to change it. It's the law of attraction. Once you put it into the actions, then your reality is going to change. However, do not hold on to the closed-minded beliefs. Let yourself be open to new knowledge, new growths, new awarenesses that are going to heal you and bring you to a higher level for you. You come in alone and you go out alone. So all the knowledge and all the lessons and everything that you're constantly pushing to evolve is on you alone. You're responsible for looking at the reality for what it is and then evolving and adapting to your reality to match the reality around you. And even if you want to change it, because imagination is greater than knowledge. Even if you want to change what you see in your reality, you still have to face what is the reality.
And if you do not face reality correctly, or you're out of tune with reality, then something's going to happen that's going to try to that's going to teach you a lesson that says you are out of tune with reality. So this is what happens when you get out of tune with reality. So it's best to be tuned into reality so that hard lessons don't come your way, even of the type that could be damaging to you. You're always going to get hard lessons, because if you're, like at the top of you're in one of these universities at one of those master's degrees or PhD degrees, you're going to get hard lessons all the time because they have everything's really hard to learn.
Right.
So everybody gets hard lessons. Just that some people are really good at handling them because they're programmed in a way that they can handle them a lot better than other people.
Well, it's kind of like school, if you miss a couple of days, you're behind on the lessons. So if you're up on the lessons every day, you're working on those lessons, you're not going to get behind. So you want to keep progressing. You want to keep pushing that constant attitude. Push, push, push to get those lessons caught up, knowing what you got to face, knowing your weaknesses to turn into the strengths. Reach out and get reassurance and confirmations, not only from the universe, but your supports team, you independently, you like-mindedness, you reach out and you confirm what you are doing. You get the support that, yes, I am on the right track because I'm answering yes or no. Am I doing the right thing? Normally, if you ask if you're doing the right thing, you are. Because people that are not doing the right thing don't question. They don't ask. So
And-
always put that logic in there.
And life goes in cycles. And there's a cycle of abuse and all these cycles that tend to keep being redundant and teaching people the same lessons over and over again because people are not willing to learn them. So the object is to, with each wave, learn the lessons related to that wave, to the next cycle or wave will be a better one for you.
Right.
And so that's where the persistence comes in. You ride the waves and you keep trying to make the most of each wave that comes your way.
Right.
And if you're persistent in dealing with the struggles involved in whatever conditions come your way.
Right. And keep training.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing your diet, keep doing your nutrition, keep training of your self-love, your confidence, work on your boundaries, and work on always voicing. Feelings aren't facts, but emotion power the spirit. And there are so many emotions and so many ways of looking at the emotions that are coming in. It is a fine line. But it's up and it's your responsibility and up to you to take those emotions. If they're negative, you look at them and then you flip them to the emotions you want to feel. You learn the contrast. You keep training every day. Why am I feeling this way? What is my response? And keep it going constantly. And you will see the differences. You will see that you caught up on your spiritual knowing thyself, and then it won't overcome you. It won't overwhelm you, right? It won't feel like you got so much. And then if you do feel that way, we recommend grounding, staying in the right now moment. It's torturous, but you grow.
Yeah, meditation is where you quiet your mind and you lower your energy field, and that's how you are able to recover when you push yourself really hard.
Right.
It's by shutting yourself down. And when you shut down the mind, you cannot have toxic emotions because they're going to cling. And that's how you get rid of toxic emotions, is by doing the meditation and by
breathing.
shutting the mind down so the mind cannot hang on to the emotions that are harming you.
Right. Breathing. Tom has great meditative techniques. You can find us on Facebook, Astro Goodwin, TikTok, Michelle311 on TikTok, Facebook, look us up. We have Positive Vibes groups. You can ask questions here on our lives. We'll always respond to any questions that come in. We're here to help you use the tools that work for us. Tom's been doing his own creative astrology chart system that uses the elements and the universe and planets, and it works better for the times to use it in reality. We want spiritual tools that are going to help ease the walks in a hard, cruel world.
And to me, it's always go with that what works. Find
That's
out
right.
what worked and go with what worked. It's actions to see to try out different things.
That's
and you
right.
go and do what works. This is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I think we've covered the subject of constant spiritual action pretty thoroughly. Please subscribe.
Yes. Subscribe, share, ask questions, voice. It's only one of you. We want to hear you.
I'm Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.